Start. Okay, so hello, I'm starting the recording. We have a beautiful group of mostly women. It's all women. And I hope that we will have some men joining us soon as well to get their perspective. And today is on narcissism. We are going to be exploring narcissism. We connected a little bit before to start aligning with what we would like this constellation reveal. We would like to understand more of the wounding of the narcissist, but also the wounding of the person that is attracted to a narcissist and at times helpless or not very effective how they deal with the narcissist. So we would like to understand both. And we shared about narcissistic leaders, narcissistic parents, narcissistic lovers, narcissistic children, which, you know, like they have to also move through that stage. So, you know, it's normal, like some of the signs of narcissism that teenagers go through, for example. And we, you know, shared about like the common traits of gaslighting and confusion and lack of empathy, and lack of communication, and have to things their way. And then pushing the other person down and pushing them down, calling them names. And you know, I was also sharing, like, I'm guilty of that too. And it's something that is also rooted in our lack of skill, or lack of parenting skill. Also, the way our culture works, where we expect perfectionism, or we expect everything, you know, like we constantly compare and want to improve, be good at everything. That also gives this environment for narcissism to thrive. Plus, like the charm of a narcissist is also very attractive, right? So that's why they are being pursued as leaders or lovers. They are beautiful, they are charming, and they have the ability to control us. So we would like to dive into this today. I will be muting everyone so you can see my screen. I will pin it. If you would like to speak up during the constellation when you are getting something, you know, like, it's good to be patient, because constellation is not coming from my head, you know, like it's really coming more from feeling the field and feeling my body. So it takes time, so it can be a little slower. So give it time to evolve. But you know, like when something like is really like nagging at you and you need to say it to contribute, go ahead and unmute yourself and contribute, you know. So that is usually part, you know, we all participate in this. And you will be getting aspects that I may not be getting, and it's important to name it at times. So feel free to unmute and contribute. And when I start setting it up, you know, also help me, you know, so that it feels complete. All right, so I will pin my video here. Okay. So you can see me. I will switch the camera. Also, let me know if you see that there is a new attendee who jumped in, because some people said that they will jump in later, because I do need to let them in. I would like them to be included, and I don't see it once I start representing. So feel free to interrupt me for a moment and I will let them in. Okay. So the way I do these constellations, for those of you that are new, is I come up with the important aspects that we would like to explore. So far I have, let me put it on my face still. So far I have the narcissist wound, and I have the wound of the people dealing with the narcissist. So I don't know, what would I call it? Like the wound of the other, or if you have a better name, let me know. So
the susceptibility of someone to a narcissist.
Yeah, so the wound that created the susceptibility. Very good. Very good. So I have that. I have the narcissist wound, the wound that created the susceptibility. I would like to add in a blind spot, like what don't we see as the world? I would like to put it in, because as I was sharing before, like it's so in our face right now, like having a narcissistic president, you know, like it doesn't get any more in your face. And like having a lot of people now talking about this, it's a very hot topic. So when it's like that in our face, what is there that we don't see? What remains in the shadow, or what's hiding behind that? Does it make
what about the pieces of ourself that are actually narcissistic without being pathologically narcissistic? So maybe we've inherited pieces even if we're not a full-blown narcissist.
Well, okay, how could I put that in? It will probably, well, see, you know, it's really like by observing it, like even like when I read like the traits, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing it at times, right? The thing is, they're like, I can recognize it, I can admit it, and narcissists would never admit there is anything wrong with them, you know. So even like when I was triggered by some narcissistic traits that my teenage son was showing, I later was able to sit down with him and talk about it and tell him about this, and tell him, like, you know, I would like you to like look at that a little bit so that you will become more aware, and this doesn't become your shadow where, you know, you will hurt other people and hurt yourself eventually as well, because you will just accumulate a lot of lack of integrity and shadow. So he was able to listen and say like, oh, okay, I think I get it, even though he was defending before, you know. So that kind of like shows like, yeah, he's not in that pathology yet, right? Or he's probably just moving through it. So I really think that it's a spectrum, and we will have those traits at times, depending on how much pain we don't want to deal with, just like narcissists, like how much pain they don't want to look at because it's too big, right? Or they think it's too big. And then they completely deny it. So I don't think we need like all the aspects, because it's many, and then, you know, like it's, the constellation gets a little bit dilute. I would like to be able like to do few aspects that give us the biggest benefit, really. So
what about a color,
protection mechanism too?
like a color to recognize and have clarity to
it's why I wanted the blind spot. Like, what is there we don't see?
Yes.
The blind spot. Like, what is that we don't see? And if we saw it, it would make a whole difference and would shift the whole thing instead.
Yeah, so
instead
clarity.
of going into every aspect, like, what is there that we don't see? And if we saw it, it would shift everything. Like, it would make it easy.
So the clarity button.
Yeah, exactly. Very good.
Clara, what about like strengths? Like, I think of it as like when a narcissist, you know, says something to us, our mind, it's like there's a weakness there. Our mind instantly goes to questioning ourselves. So that's why it goes over our head. Like the strength.
Yes, because there's the susceptibility.
That just goes, that's BS. Instead of instantly questioning ourselves, instantly seeing the bullshit.
Yes, very good. Yeah. So okay, so that's the flip side of, or that's the health. So we have the wounding, we have the wounded part or the wounding, and then like how would it be in health? And actually we can do it for both. For the narcissist, a healed narcissist, let's do that. Healed narcissist and the healed susceptibility.
Two different words come up for me. One is crushed egos, because I feel that's what we are kind of doing each other, crushing each other egos, because everyone has the weapons but a different pocket. And the other one is provocateur. We are constantly being provoked to heal. So as we provoke others to heal, they provoke us to heal. Those were the two words that came to me.
So the first one was what?
The first one was crushed egos.
Crushed egos. Okay.
I was kind of
wounding. I think that the wounding to take that, and then the provocateur.
Provocateur is
yes.
We are constantly provoking each other to heal, right? Constantly showing the mirror to each other. So, this kind of a type of a person would have certain trigger or certain things that would mislead me by their charm, and I would always follow till I wake up and I go, oh, okay, I get this game. This is manipulation, and I refuse to be manipulated. So
wait a moment. I think I'm getting to it. So we have their wounding. We have them as a healed person. We have our wounding, or we have the wound that creates a susceptibility to it, and we have the healed susceptibility, and then there is so we have the blind spot, and so what needs to be healed? Because like we will constantly like do this. No, you, because like something needs to. What's uncommunicated?
But Clara,
the blind spot. Yes. Mm-hmm.
For me, in my own process, everything shifted when I understood the pattern. It was some kind of enlightenment.
Yeah.
And that's like what Vera was saying. I get this game. I can see through the bullshit.
Yeah. So
I think that's the tipping point for me to starting, because before that, the whole thing is that with this thing is that you don't know what's wrong. You just feel it, but you don't know what it is. You can't identify it. So there's somewhere along the way there is an identification process, and that's when it shifted for me.
Yes. So how about like I take the blind spot? Like what do we need to see? Like if we saw it, everything will shift, and I will put in also solution.
Yeah, maybe there's something. There's for me that's
solution.
Yeah.
So which for you was like understanding, it shifted for you. That was the solution. And
when when I was given the pattern to me, that's when I started to find my way out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Very good. The awareness, the pattern. Yeah, very good.
I'd love to see the deep understanding of the pattern, because for some of us that aren't as lucky as the last caller, I'm not seeing her name, but it would be great for that awareness to be in the constellation. So it's
well, that's what comes like when I do the constellation. That's what you should gain. That's why we do the constellations, is to gain the understanding and to see the pattern. And that's why there is also the recording. So you might pick like few things at the beginning, and then when you rewatch, you will get more, and you will get more. Okay, so I will start with these. Because I don't want to make them too many, because then it's dilute. Like I notice there's too much in the head. And maybe something more will come up once I stand up, because usually then I feel more once I
Clara,
start.
can you
Yes.
repeat them again? Because I'm a little bit lost.
Okay, so I have the narcissist wound.
Mm-hmm.
I have a healed narcissist.
A healed narcissist.
A healed narcissist. Even though like people say like it's impossible, I don't think anything is impossible. It's impossible as long as they, you know, deny there's something wrong with them. But who knows? Maybe something more will show up.
Mm-hmm.
A healed narcissist. I have the wounding that causes the susceptibility to them, to fall for them, and to be triggered by them, and to be, you know, like to get confused by them, hurt by them, all that. Like, so the wound that causes us to be open to them, and then healed susceptibility. So the flip side of that, like what would it take to heal that, right? Mm-hmm. And then I have also blind spot. Like what is something that we don't see? Because as I said, there has been a lot of research done. It hasn't changed the state of narcissism in the world. And people like shaming narcissists, you know, and calling everyone narcissist when they don't get what they want or stuff like that's also not helping. Because we go very often like, oh, narcissist, you know, like what is it that we don't see? What is in the shadow? What, you know, have us have a narcissistic president in the US right now. What did we didn't see? And then a solution.
Okay.
Keep it open, like a solution.
Mm-hmm.
So that the field shows us what we need to embrace or be aware of or you know, shift or heal or see. And just that's kind of like pretty simple, you know, and it's without too much being in the head, you know, because if I start doing all the aspects, you know, then, you know, I'm not doing the research that everyone else did. I'm trying to go into the unseen to see if we can reveal something that could be helpful. And we may not, you know, sometimes we will just reveal what everyone knows already, but sometimes, you know, just because you watch it instead of hearing about it, that may make a difference. So I don't know, I will leave it open.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so let's start, and if more will show up, we will add it. Yeah, like what is so attractive about them? Oh, there, Elizabeth, you would like that probably. Like there is the orchid remedies are all about narcissism, and people like sometimes fall madly in love. Oh, there's Stacy. People sometimes fall madly in love with the orchids. So the orchids have the beautiful, attractive qualities, and some of them are, you know, attracting the insects and then eat them, right? And they fall for it. The insect falls for it. Oh, there is Maya as well. Okay, ladies, we started the process, so I do not let you talk anymore. Even though I said you are allowed. Okay. Oh. We are starting the constellation. It's being recorded. If you need to turn off your screens, you can do that. At the end, we will connect again. Let me know if more people ask to get in. Okay, so let's start. Help me with the colors, by the way. And then we will also put in the narcissist, and we will put in the person that is so attracted by them, right? People who vote for them, people who fall in love with them, have children with them, and so on. Who love that they are leaders and we like to worship them and all that. So I would like to choose this one for narcissist because that's what I saw this whole morning. So that would be the narcissist. This would be, I would like to use this one, the person that is susceptible to worshiping them, falling for them, you know, taking their critique deeply into their heart and to the point of getting confused and making decisions that are not the best for themselves. So in a way, us, right? So that's the flip side. Okay, there's something is already like calling me in there, but let's put the other ones in. It's literally like calling me already to step here and then go here. So who knows what's there? It's almost like the narcissist is kind of like a portal to something else in a different realm, which could be like past or who knows. So that's what I saw. Okay, I'm not going to go there yet. Okay, so then we have the wounding of the narcissist. So the wound that puts them in this beautiful, like charming, manipulating, and dictatorial, lack of empathy role. So they're wounding. And this will be the other person's wounding, the victim's wounding. Okay, and then I will have the, okay, I don't let you choose the colors, and somehow I'm choosing them myself today, sorry. How about the healed narcissist, this green? And I hope that someone is writing it for me in case I get lost. So the healed narcissist, what would a healed narcissist look like? Wow, it's all so together right now. And what would a healed, what would healed us look like? Let me use this orange. It's here. The blind spot, what don't we see? And if we saw it, it would make a whole difference and would shift everything easy, not just for us, but in the world. The blind spot. And also solution. I think the solution is still out. Yeah, I think the red flags and the awareness, that's what the constellation should provide. So I will start. So in your mind, you know, or on the paper, you can state your intention for this constellation. My intention is to bring more awareness to the dynamics, bring more clarity and more resourcefulness or confidence of the people who are dealing with narcissists to stay themselves and trust who they are, so that the narcissistic behavior cannot swing them, like knowing how to set the proper boundaries and be resilient to it. Yeah. Heal the susceptibility. And I would like to also understand and also, you know, address narcissists with respect and love and understanding, leaving them some space as well to reveal what their need is, what could really shift this dynamic for them as well, right? And also, I would like this to collectively bring some alignment, some balance, and shift into a higher way, you know, where we can rise up all together without pointing fingers and without the duality and victimizing and perpetrating each other or manipulating each other. So yeah, that's my intention. So I want to go first on the light pink, which is the wounding of that opens the susceptibility to narcissists and to their manipulation and charm. It feels like a child, like a baby hanging onto a mother, kind of clinging onto the mother, and doesn't want to let go, doesn't want to be put down. I do not want to separate from mom. And I'm holding, like I'm in a cramp, holding so tight onto her. And like you see sometimes little monkeys like clinging like so strong, and you try to like pull them off your body and they grab you again. It's just like so clingy. So let me see what happens here. Oh, we don't even see it. So I don't know if it's the mother that doesn't see it or if it's us, how we were clinging on our mother, but don't see it. I don't see the need. I'm just like, no, you don't need me. Instead, I want to embrace this here, which is the health, which is the healed susceptibility, right? Like, if I don't deal with that, then, you know, I'm not susceptible to narcissism. So I want this. I don't want to hold that or acknowledge that. I want this. So like, I just want to be healed. And then I go away, actually. I'm a little bit like, there's, weepiness wants to come in, but it's coming in and out, in and out. I didn't uncover it yet, you know, where the fountain can really like start flowing with tears, but it's like in and out now. I want to cry, but I don't allow myself yet. Oh, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. Like, I don't want to deal with any of this right now. I want to run away and not be involved with this at all. I'm looking away. Wow. So the crying is coming now. I want to escape. I don't want to deal with any of that. It's interesting that I'm holding this, which should have been the healed susceptibility, but I'm pretty much I'm stuck. Even though I want to escape, I'm here. I'm not moving, and I don't want to turn around. I don't want to look at the pink one. I don't even care about the narcissist at this point at all. It's more about the pink one. Like, it's almost like I hate it. Like, I want to tell it I hate you. Okay, so I'm going to, oh man, I think I have to say it. I have to go there and I have to say it. Oh my gosh, so I have to say the little one, like, I hate you, get off me. I'm so tired of your clinging. At the same time, I'm crying. Because I'm, of course, both, right? It's like the clingy one, the clingy baby trying to cling on me the whole time, so I cannot do anything. And then I'm now getting also a headache, like my back of the head is hurting. So here's this stupid little shit baby, like, it's like I have like all this, like, just like, fuck off, like, get off me, like, oh, like, I'm so tired of carrying you, and like, give me some, like, break. At the same time, I'm crying because I'm also that, like, I'm realizing I'm both of these parts, and so much. I'm angry and sad at the same time. I feel like I'm super frustrated. I could scream. I just want it off me. It's like I cannot run away from myself in a way. You guys, like, this is really strange situation. Because I'm also realizing, like, it's myself. I want to run from myself. I cannot run from myself. I hate you. You're fucking stupid. You're not good enough. You're a piece of shit. Fuck off. You know? But it's myself. Seriously, myself. And he just looks like a little stupid monkey hanging on me.
And it's like, get off me already. But I'm the monkey too, you know, like I'm both. I'm like this person who believes like I'm a grown up, I'm mature, I'm smart, you know, and if it wasn't for this little shit, you know, so very sad because it's like a trap. Oh gosh. Like, I hate you. I don't want you. I don't want you. I hate you. Go away. You know, when I'm trapped. And I know I cannot like send them away. I'm just realizing more and more. Then I feel sorry for myself that I feel sorry for myself that myself is such a piece of little shit. And it's like, no matter how much I learn and try to be like competent or mature or successful or good looking, I can never, it's just like because of this, like I can never achieve it really. Like it's almost like I feel I'm a fraud. And I know because this is me, because I have this and I can never run away from this. I will be never good enough at anything, never. Because I cannot get disconnected from this piece of, yeah, like piece of like inadequacy, piece of sabotager, piece of like whatever is holding me back. I'm so ashamed of it, like, and I feel like I may hide it from others. Like I can see like I can hide it from others, but I can't hide it from myself. I think that I can put like an image around myself. And kind of like bury this little one, like very deep, hide it. It's my little secret. It's like, it's in the dungeon. It's nobody will see my little monkey. But I hate that little piece of shit. And I know I'm a fraud. I know I'm not good enough. I know I'm not pretty enough. I know I'm not smart enough. I know I'm not adequate, successful, good, competent. I know it. And I'm stuck with it here. I just want to curse even more, and I want to leave. Like, I don't even want to be here. And then like, oh, now I'm on the video. Like, oh, everyone discovered me now. Oh. Like, everyone knows I have a little monkey that it's uncoachable. Like, we'll never learn. It's like that little monkey will stay a stupid little child, incompetent and ugly little hairy thing, no matter what I do.
Okay, something is a little bit shifting by acknowledging it all. This is a solution is to come here. So now I'm looking at the narcissist, right? And the narcissist looks perfect. It looks like, wow, like they don't judge themselves so much as I do. Like they just seem to be so okay with everything. Like when they make a mistake, it's just like, well, who cares, you know? They're so easy about everything. They're so beautiful, but if I look like closer at the details, it's not like they wear a different clothes than I do, but they wear it differently, because everything that I wear or I put out there, like there is this stupid little monkey making it either dirty or ugly, or you know, like the monkey jumps out anytime to sabotage and to mess up my image. And it looks like these guys don't have a monkey. They like, there's no monkey in them. There's space in them. It looks like there's space in them. There's no monkey. Where's their monkey? I don't see their monkey. They have no monkey. So somehow they figured out how to get rid of the monkey, but I'm stuck with my monkey. It just looks like they don't have a monkey. But it also looks like they're so beautiful and so free, and they don't have a monkey, right? It also looks like they have emptiness inside. But for me, it looks like spaciousness. Like instead of being dragged down or being contracted by the little piece of shit, they have this space and room, and they just flow. They're flowy. They flow. They flow. And they don't filter, they don't judge themselves. And they have so much ease. Whoa, and I'm just like, take my monkey. Like, I want to give them my monkey. Yes. But since you're so charming, like, oh, how would you deal with that monkey? I want to see now. Oh, this is so confusing. I'm like, that's the solution. Yeah, fine. Let me see how you deal with that. I'm good here. That's my solution. I'm good. It's your problem. You deal with that. There, I see like, so there's my monkey, and there is the blind spot still too, you know? And I'm like, well, this is a good solution for me. I'm all good here now. Like I feel free. And I can relax at last. Okay, I am willing to look at the blind spot there. But I do not want to deal with the narcissist. I'm like, oh yeah, you're so perfect. Okay, deal with it then yourself. But I'm okay to look at the blind spot. Okay. What if uncovered, it would shift everything, correct? Oh, scary too. Now the pain here is coming back again. oh, look at my arms, they're like up like this. This is a sign, you guys, like when people do this, it often means that they're in denial. So it's just like people will sign like that. Like sometimes, like they touch their eye, and that means, you know, there's sadness that they are not expressing, right? Or they will do this, which is, you know, their body is communicating that they're in denial. So that's how I want to. My body is telling me I'm in denial, but I'm like, oh yeah, I totally want you to look at the blind spot. But I'm coming at it like this, you know, like, yeah, right. Since I'm here, is there anyone else? No. Okay. Okay. So let me look at it. I don't know if I left everything here or if I walked over there. Just a moment. So it's me. It's the wounding. No, it's the healthy. It's me. It's the healthy. It's the solution here. Okay, the solution was just. Okay, so I step out and I come and I represent the blind spot from a mutual position. Okay. The blind spot picks up the monkey or the wounding that creates the susceptibility to narcissists. The blind spot picks it up and brings it here. And it's kind of like showing it to us. This is your baby, like this is your inner child, it's innocent. This is not a piece of shit. This is your innocence. This is your it's inner child, is your innocence, is your, like it's your pure essence that is still it's still not programmed, or it hasn't been groomed into the mold, or it hasn't been shaped into a mold of expectations of yours or society's or anyone's. It's a pure potential. It's like pure potential. It's pure innocence. It's something that hasn't been shaped yet. It has no agenda. It has it's loving. It's there's no agenda. It's loving. It just is. It's your innocence, and like wake up. This is like, where did all this projection, all this judgment, all this hatred of your own life, your own inner child, your own innocence, like where your own, like it's innocence and curiosity and all that, like where did all this judgment come from? Like why aren't you like loving to it, embracing it? Why aren't you just let it be? Like accept yourself, accept that you don't have to know anything. Like everything is made up anyway. Like you don't have to know anything. And it's not like when you make mistakes, it's not your mistake, it's your discovery, it's your exploration. It's whatever it is at the moment, and then the world will react to it. It may affect others, but there's purity, there's innocence in it, there's nothing wrong with it. Like, where does all this hatred, like this profound hatred, come from? What's going on? Let me see. So I was giving it to them, but now I'm putting it down here. Interestingly, I'm stepping behind the narcissist kind of in a supportive way now. I'm stepping on the green one, which is the healthy narcissist. Healthy narcissist is embracing is able to look at the baby and not project like it's a monkey, it's a piece of shit. Like I see a beautiful baby, you know, like chubby, beautiful, full of light, full of innocence, and just going like goo goo gaga, you know. And I'm just looking at it as what it is. Like it's, you know, like it's didn't experience yet the life on earth. It needs to be shown things. It needs to be taught. It needs to be protected. It needs to be nourished. It needs to be loved. It needs to be accepted, forgiven when they make mistakes, when they destroy your favorite vase or pee on the floor, you know, like smear the poop on the walls. It's like, yeah, how can you get, you know, it's yes, it's inconvenience, but it's adorable. And it's like, I totally get it. Like, absolutely, like this child has no idea yet, like what the rules are of our living, of our family, of our society, of the elements, like how not to get hurt outside, how to conduct themselves politely with others, how to say hello, you know, like how they deal with the world when it's time to go to sleep, when it's time to be awake. Like they don't know any of that, you know, and we slowly will kind of like groom them into citizen of the world, you know. And it's not by forcing them to do it. Like the grooming is kind of more like, okay, I'm going to show you like the things that I know I have discovered, the things that worked for me. I'm going to show you like some of the things, like how does the bus work, how do you go to school and all that. But I will also respect I will also respect that you may want to explore new things or different things. Like I will also respect your individual needs or your purpose in this world and your like how you are special, independently of how I believe that the world works, how I believe the rules are, what is illegal and so on. Like, yes, some things are illegal, but you know, maybe for you it doesn't make sense, or you know, like you are not doing anything terribly wrong. Like sometimes rules need to be broken, right? Like when you're saving someone's life, or sometimes they need to be changed, right? Like rules sometimes eventually need to be changed because they were not loving, and you may be the one that will challenge them, that will go like, hey, it makes no sense, why is it like this? You may be the one who will rebel, and it's not my job to stop you. My job is to support you so that you can grow up with the light that you are, with, like, keep the innocence, like grow the innocence, grow the innocence on you. So even though, like, I see now, like this baby kind of like growing up, but it's full of light, it's growing up, it has more influence outside, but it's not, how would I say, like it's not programmed into the mold, like it's not programmed into like a drone or just a copy of everyone else. It's doing its own thing, but because it's so loved, and because it's so connected to its love and innocence and whatever, light, or you know, like to that essence, to that spirit, it's not going to cause bad things if they grew up in a loving, or with a loving guidance, and someone who is not constantly interfering, not constantly judging, no, that's not how you do it, let me do it for you. And unless you do it like you're supposed to do it, like don't even touch it, you know. So a lot of this is coming, like I think it's coming from the parenting, but is like at this point is how we parent ourselves, how we interact with this beautiful essence in us, how we are willing to let go of all those judgments and expectations on ourselves, like how we can let ourselves just be who we are meant to be, instead of who we think would be a convenient version that would be like a convenient version that would dress the way that others respect, that would say things that others respect, that would do some amazing things that everyone would respect. If we could just let the little beautiful, like flower just flourish however heck they want, without the agenda and expectations and goals and agendas, and just let ourselves be, like let go of constantly getting down on ourselves. if we can do that and just chill, it's like there's nothing else that can be perceived in the world. Like it's there, you can feel from that perspective, like when that light, when that baby like is allowed to mature according always to these high values of being loving and allowing, then once they grow up, they're surrounded by love. They breathe in love. They breathe out love. It's loving all around them. There are no agendas, no hidden expectations, no trying to use someone for the agenda. They just are. It's not like hidden goals. Or just, like sometimes it's not even like goals that one is aware of. It's more like disapproval no matter what. So kind of like not letting this one grow. And no matter what they do, it's not good enough. It's because how dare they to grow on their own without guidance and molding and programming? Like how dare they? Like whatever comes out of that, that's not how you do it. So it doesn't count because that's not how you do it. So, oh shit, it worked. I'm not going to acknowledge you because that's not how you do it. Maybe it was just a coincidence. So who are you? Like in the whole world, it works certain way. So your solution, like you're coming up, like doing it differently, no matter if it's easier, more effective, more efficient. I'm not going to let you get the praise for it. No way. So in health, so I don't know, I put it out there for a moment, but now I'm coming back. So in health, this needs to be nourished, accepted, loved. So we want to put it here on all this. Amazing. Narcissist didn't even say anything yet. Oh. Okay. How is everyone doing? Any comments? No. Okay. Oh, are they? I need a little break. Oh my. Okay. So I'm coming now to explore the narcissistic wound. So the narcissistic wound, it feels like I want to put it on
on top of this, it's kind of like cancel it all out. No, this is like, no, this is crazy. This is not going on. This is crazy. This was all made up. I'm not willing to look. I don't see it. I don't know what you're talking about. I literally don't see any of the stuff down there. It's like total cancel, like red, like with the red marker, like, no, this is absolutely not. And now I'm like standing here and I don't see anything. I'm like, la 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 la. What just happened? Oh, something was happening here in the room. I don't know. Maybe I was on the phone. I didn't notice. maybe I don't know. I didn't see anything happen. Nothing happened. And I literally don't feel anything. I feel fine. I'm just like, oh, this is done. Like, why are we here again? Like, what? Like, how did I end up here? What? Oh, like, it's time to go and like go in the sun and, you know, like why would I still be here? Like, who has time for this BS? How did I end up here? You see, like, I'm going with my back to the narcissist, right? I'm like, huh, how did I end up here? I'm alone here. I don't know, like, what's going on? Like, nothing happened, right? What is all this crowd here? No matches, of course. Okay. Oh. Since nobody is here, oh my gosh, this is like the image when you see like narcissists like looking in at its own image, like in the water. It's literally how I feel, like, oh my gosh, I'm so beautiful. It's like looking in the mirror, like, wow, I am so beautiful. I am beautiful. But it's very external, like I just see the image and it's kind of, it's like this external beauty somehow, like, I'm so beautiful. I'm totally beautiful. I see my own face, by the way. It's like Clara face. Scary. I'm so beautiful. Oh my gosh, I'm so beautiful. Wow. Look at the like soft skin and the light coming from the charming, beautiful face, and the teeth are kind of like shiny, and the eyes of this like little twinkle coming out. And oh my gosh, I'm amazing. I have so much charm. Wow. I should go out there and like sparkle at everyone. Let my sparkle out. I'm putting it underneath here. Yeah, who wants to see a little bit of my sparkle? walk, kind of like, huh. The dancing little walk. Oh. But see, like I'm totally like looking above everything. So that's always like a denial. I don't know why I'm hopping like this. It's like horsey. I don't know what this is about yet. Kind of like I'm on a horse and like riding a horse. Like, oh, I'm so beautiful. It's so nice and flowy. But I don't see anyone, right? Like I don't see anyone now. Even though like I'm riding the horse, I'm not looking at myself now, but I'm looking at the image of me riding the horse, how beautiful it is. Even though like I don't stare at myself in the mirror. Whereas I'm riding this horse, I'm seeing myself riding the horse, and it's like a white horse, and it's flowy and beautiful. And like, oh my gosh, I must be so beautiful, like riding my horse. I wonder if anyone sees me. Maybe not, actually. Actually, nobody needs to see me. I don't need anyone to see me. Like, I'm enjoying it myself. It's like, oh, the nature is beautiful. I'm beautiful. My horse is beautiful. I don't care if anyone sees it. I don't need the approval about it, actually. I'm just enjoying. You know, and then for a moment I felt like, well, there's nothing wrong with that, actually. Like, nothing wrong with that. That in a way is appreciating your life, appreciating your beauty, however it is, you know, accepting it, going out to give the twinkle out there. There's nothing wrong with that. Or at least, you know, those are the words that I wanted to express. So what if I'm beautiful and I'm shiny and I sparkle and I'm gentle and I enjoy my beautiful clothes, my beautiful horse, no matter if someone gives me approval or not, but I do enjoy it. Like, what's wrong with that? But yeah, I was in a little bit of denial. I wasn't looking at everything else, but now I can. So I'm going to look at it now. But see, like I put the narcissist below and I was writing with all of that we did before. I just didn't want to look at it. I didn't see it. And so now I am willing to take this out and to look at this. I'm a little bit sad again. So if I don't scratch this all off and don't completely like deny it and cancel it, I don't know where to put it. It's like I wanted to hide it first, but then I didn't. I think I'm putting it behind myself, which so first I'm going to deal with the wound.
eyes are closed and I'm crying a little bit, but it's crying from some kind of exhaustion. It's not crying from the emotion yet, but the tears are coming automatically, but I cannot identify the emotion. It's more like exhaustion. And the body is just doing something that I am not aware of. I want to look at the blue. I don't want to look at the others, but I'm willing to look at the blue, which was the blind spot. That if that was seen, it would shift everything. So I don't want to open my eyes. I'm crying now a little bit more. It has to do with this blind spot. I'm also nauseous and I want to throw up. I'm exhausted. I want to open my eyes. But the tears are still streaming. And when I keep my eyes closed, what I see is like, remember the yellow when I was looking like in the mirror and like, oh, you're so beautiful. I'm so beautiful. I love this sparkle. So even with my eyes closed, I see that. The beautiful sparkle, like looking at me from the mirror, just my like own face. And I want to open my eyes. I don't want to see this. It's exhausting, like the emotion was so strong that I broke in sweat, and I need to actually get a tissue. Sorry, guys. Oh. Uh, so what I'm perceiving now from the blue, it's just it could be a raging parent, it could be a murderer, it could be a rapist, it could be a torturer, it could be like any kind of like overpowering figure that is in a rage, or like overpowering me to the point that yeah, to the point that it's overpowering. It's I'm not even afraid. It's not that I'm afraid at all. It's just they are so overpowering. It's like Hitler, or like someone who can explode any moment and just kill you, or can sign up a killing order for you, or someone that can grab you anytime, rape you. They have power over you. And there's no help, there's no police you can call, there's no help, there's nobody will save you. It's like a raging alcoholic parent, or some psychopath that you have to deal with. Because I was able to allow it a little bit, and move through it a little bit. For some reason, like from here, I don't know if it's just, because I'm a woman, it feels like a man more than a woman. I don't see the women there yet. It's more of a male figure. It's it's strange that's what's coming to me. It's like it's a narcissistic perpetrator. So, this is crazy. So it's a narcissistic perpetrator. Like there's some like psychopathic, like unexpected kind of behavior, like lack of empathy. Like anytime they can burst into anger and punishment, and either like hit you, kill you, rape you, torture you, like make like psychological terror. It's not just like sarcasm, making fun, like real like psychopathic terror and torture. They're so cold. But there's like there's a recognition like they're my perpetrator, but I'm also them. I am them, they are me. I may have been their victim, but now I am a perpetrator. So I am them, they are me. I am them, they are me. I am them, they are me. I'm able to look now. This is, in compared to what was before, like the self-judgment and disapproval and expectations and all that kind of stuff, calling names. This here is, like, that is maybe 10%. This is 100% in intensity or level of lack of empathy, lack of compassion. Like, there's like coldness, like cold-blooded, calculated, destructive, like torture, and there's like enjoyment in torturing. It's psychopathic, it's sociopathic, it's you know, it's like the qualities of Hitler, qualities of Stalin, qualities of raging alcoholic, absent-minded parent. I see more like males, like fathers, actually. Can be any psychopath that can get hold of you. They can be put in positions like of authority, teachers, priests, political, like law enforcement, just, you know, a psychopath that lives on your street, psychopath that works in your school. He can show up anywhere. He can show up as your doctor. This is cold-blooded psychopath. It's a person, actually, that the narcissist got wounded by, and it's identified with because they were not able to look at them. So that's why I'm saying, like, they're me, I am them. So I was able to see them and acknowledge them first, but actually I see myself merged with them. I have like sexual energy now kind of going on, like a confusion, a lot of sexual energy when I don't know what to think about it and what to do with that. And, I'm willing now to look at I'm willing now to look at the orange. That was a healed susceptibility to narcissists, right? So I'm putting it out. I don't want these to see it, but I'm willing to talk to the healed one. want to be held by them. Oh, thank you for everyone who is still here and holding space. It's taking a little bit time. Maybe was more emotional than I even imagined. So I need to like let it flow through and let it evolve on its own. So thank you for being there. Oh, I want to connect now to the pink one. To the innocence. Look at my nose again. I'm about to deal with the green one now. And not the solution yet, but the green one, yes. So that's the healthy narcissist. The one that returned back to health. So now is embracing the healed susceptibility to narcissism. And then embracing the healed narcissist. And holding, kind of like reconnecting to the innocence and remembering it, remembering the inner child. I wanted to kind of like go and confront the blue one, but I'm trying like to go a few steps, but then I'm afraid. So I want to confront them, but I'm really afraid too. And it feels like I need support. Yeah. So I can't do it by myself. I need support. It's like I need some kind of, it almost feels like a rape victim, or like a child that was molested, and now they are grown up, and they need like authorities to support them, like either organization or police or whatever, some kind of like support from other people. To be able to confront that psychopathic, sadistic perpetrator. So that's the solution in a way, is some support, other people's support. It's weird, even with the support, it's still hard to go closer there. So the solution is support, distance, looks like the right distance. This is the wound of the narcissist, but it goes. Again, I feel the sexual stuff. The wound goes behind the blind spot, or the perpetrator in this case now. Kind of like supporting the perpetrator. Kind of like, okay, so let's see about the perpetrator. Oh my God. I need just a little break. Let me just drink a little bit or something. How is everyone? Talk to me a little bit. I need a little break. Because this feels like it's another part that is starting now.
Too emotional.
Emotional? Yeah, it's super emotional.
I almost broke down when you were in that state. I'm better right now and I'm able to speak, but I was just too. It was too intense today, actually.
This is a huge topic. Yeah, it's very intense. Yeah. Anyone else? Would you like to say anything? What was showing up for you so far?
I couldn't stand to watch you cry. I never could since the first constellation. I'm like, why am I doing this? Why is she crying? I want to just stop it. Stop crying. I want to like hug you and protect you. And why are we all here? Why are we doing this? Just stop everything, something like that.
Great, thank you. Yeah, sometimes it's really difficult to witness that. Yeah. Anyone else?
I'm finding it a little overwhelming in the sense that I've had so many narcissists in my life that my mind is trying to associate it in a million different directions, and it's just like,
Yeah.
my conscious mind can't keep up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's overwhelming. See, like, even like, I don't usually like take breaks. So, like, oh man, now we are like going even like into more.
Lots of layers to it.
Can you give a little summary? Like, I feel a little lost.
No, I cannot give you a summary right now. You will have to watch again. So, because sometimes like during it, like, it makes no sense until we get to the end, and then you can rewatch and it will all make sense. And I don't want to go in the head right now either. But at the end, we can maybe start recapping a little bit. But not right now yet, not yet, okay? Because I still need to do another part, so. But yeah, the lost is good also because it will let your logic out for now. It's good. Okay. I'm ready. Well, you know, really we are dealing with a lot of trauma on, you know, so that's what's happening. And so now it's like, it looks like we are now going into the trauma of a psychopath. It's almost like another level. Like behind the narcissist is a perpetrator that had psychopathic qualities, and then behind that psychopathic person is also a wounding. That's why the wound stayed now behind him in a supportive way. So now we are going to explore that a little bit. Okay. So for the narcissist, like, had to go through that like scary process of confronting the wound, you know, and then looking for support and breaking down, crying, claiming back their innocence. Okay, but it's all of that is like very overwhelming. So we started with the overwhelm of the susceptibility to narcissistic people. Then the overwhelm of a narcissist is even bigger. And now it's still like the overwhelm of me as facilitator, like I don't even want to go there now. So it's like the overwhelm is becoming even more. But it's all right, because when we allow the overwhelm, things will reorganize. It's only when we avoid it and we don't allow it, things are stuck and they don't reorganize. So, okay. Yeah, well, what I want to do is kill. I want to go there and just kill. It's really like freaking like a horror movie, you know, when you have someone with a knife and they just stab. Okay, since you know it's not real people, I will allow it, so it will bring us to the other side of the problem. So it's a little intense, I'm sorry you guys, a little gory, but I'm going to allow it. So I go here and I stab. And as I'm doing it, okay, I was in this kind of constellation once, where the grandfather was a pedophile. And so, you know, the facilitators said, like, behind every perpetrator, they have been a victim at certain point in their life, right, in the past. So it feels like that right now, like while I'm busy, like killing here or stabbing. I'm being, let me mute someone who's on mute here. I am being, feels like, you know, someone is from my behind, like having sex with me. So I need to put a representation for that, whoever that is. So when I don't stab and I look at whoever was having intercourse with me, let's see what's happening. I don't know, I'm breathing, like I'm suffocating. So I kind of feel like I'm being captured here. Even though, like, I'm the perpetrator behind the perpetrator, I'm being captured here. Captured, I feel suffocating. But I feel equal with this one, with the blue one, the blind spot, with the perpetrator that perpetrated a narcissist. I feel equal with him, and I feel, it's weird, like I'm pulled. I don't know if it's just symbolic right now, but you know, like when you pull the limbs apart.
Yes, a strong thought about thoughts being very highly influenced came to my mind right when you said that. So perhaps it's symbolic.
It's like a slave. It has no identity. This person has like no identity. They're controlled. They are.
Yes.
Like, and there's many people around him. He's almost like a slave and treated like an animal. This person is being treated like an animal, and I can feel like these ropes like being pulled. But I don't know if it's like symbolic, you know, if it just like means like I'm a slave. I have no say of my own. I have no identity. I can be pulled and forced into anything. I'm overpowered. And people make fun of me too. Like I'm taunted. It's like I'm like, you know, like those like Roman theaters where they would have like slaves fight or something like that. I think that I'm not like the gladiators fight, but it's more like a fight with an animal Like maybe they put that lions out at me. Yeah, it's like Roman theater or something like that. And there are spectators, like people like looking at me, making fun of me, taunting me, ridiculing me. I'm their entertainment. So I am not, they look at me like a human. Actually, no, like an animal, but even less than the lion. It's almost like the lion has more of respect because of his strength and I don't know, like majestic appearance, while they're looking at me as dirty, dumb, have no like, almost like I have no will, like I'm so diminished, so just diminished to animal. Yeah, and I have to be aggressive because I have to fight the lion. I think this is more symbolic now, maybe showing from the collective consciousness. So even though I'm human, I was only diminished to react from my beast, from pure killer instinct, pure killer and sexual instinct, no humanity. And it's almost like when you do that also to bulls, like you stick the knives into them until they bleed and they become aggressive, or you drug them, even you do stuff to them, you torture them, so eventually like you are diminished to that beast, and only the killer beast is coming out. And I'm looking at the perpetrator, at the blind spot, the perpetrator, whoever wounded the narcissist to a very deep level. I'm looking at him and I'm saying him, we are equal. We are equal. Look at me. I am you and you are me. I am just a beast, a killer beast. I'm not human. I have no empathy. I was not allowed, like people diminish me. They made fun of me and they tortured me and completely broke me. And they were the spectators. And I was their movie. I was their entertainment. The violence that they feel entertained by me and they taunt me for that. They make fun of me and they point fingers at me in their theater while they keep me captive, and they torture me, they provoke me like a beast. I don't know how I started this sentence, but anyway, I am you and you are me. You are me. You are me. You are me, the violence, the beast, the no control, only impulse, killer impulse, violence impulse, sexual impulse, not sexuality for making love, it's to harm, to hurt. I am you and you are me. Well, nowadays we have that in movies. Like every movie has so much violence, you guys. Not every, okay, let's not generalize, but so many movies, like it's more and more violence. Even comedies that like blood splitting and people just killing in those movies. In a comedy, like nothing. Just brutal. And so I'm the beast. And all of you, actually, I have to say, all of you are in a way perpetrators by glorifying violence or enjoying the entertainment aspect of brutal
violence. So these are the spectators now, right? This is where the culture and the historical evolution is coming in place. Glorifying violence, blood, beasts, diminishing people into beast. There is no empathy, no compassion, no control, just bloody murder, bloody violence. And if it doesn't come out as killing, comes out as brutalizing sexually. It's just like aspect of the same. Here's the innocence. Here's the innocence, the baby.
Clara, isn't there a color missing? Where's the dark pink, the hot pink? Isn't that?
Yeah, where is it?
Under the carpet, maybe.
Oh, yeah, okay, still. Okay, good. Good catch, thank you. Let's see, I don't think it's still coming, but thank you. Good job. Where did I hide it? Yeah, it's still there. Okay, good, thank you. Well, again, it's hidden from that one still. See, it's interesting. Like these guys can deal with that, but they don't want that one to see it. Or maybe it's that one's blind spot still, right? The people who are on the other side of the narcissism. So let's see. So is the baby as the innocent? Like I feel as the baby, but I have a lot of sexual stuff going on right now. Like a lot of sexual arousal. Let me see. So this one was the blind spot, the perpetrator, and the beast, or the one that is diminished only to the killing and raping. Okay, I want to pick up the baby. This was also the wound at the beginning, right? Our wound that makes us susceptible to narcissist. So this one picks it up. Puts it here. Okay, I don't know yet. Puts it here. So this is the wound from the narcissist. So the beast and the perpetrator and the blind spot that we don't see, which is the violence that we glorify and find entertainment in. And it's constantly programmed into us, it's everywhere. Video games and TV shows and everywhere. So I'm taking this as the beast and the perpetrator and the slave that has been diminished and forced into this. I'm taking it and I'm putting it on the healed narcissist. On the healed narcissist, I merged it with the slave that was made to fight. That slave says, I see you, to the perpetrator. I see you, and I know why you are the way you are. You carry my energy. You are me and I am you. That's the blind spot. Now that is looking at the narcissist now. So all this like merged together are looking at the narcissist. We are you and you are us. You're the one that is full of beauty and innocence. But you're also the one that didn't see the shadows, so the violence comes through you at times. So it's almost like the narcissists go into kind of like a shortcut when they become the psychopath. That's where the psychopath, the beast, from the collective starts coming through him. It becomes the channel for it. It's interesting because the narcissist, again, I go like, oh, I don't see it. I just see light. All I see is light. And the pink one. Like, I don't see any of that. Woo-hoo. And again, I go into the like, what happened? What's going on here? What happened? What just happened? I didn't see anything. And I go here and I'm like, oh, I do not want to look at the solution. I do not want to look at the healed susceptibility. Ooh, no, no, no. I'm out of here. So this is now us coming out, or the one that gets susceptible to the narcissist through their own wounding. I think most of us would identify with this. And it's looking at the solution. Solution. Healing the susceptibility. Okay, so heal the susceptibility first, then embrace the solution. I'm looking at all of those. Do you see them there, you guys? Oh, just a little bit red. So I'm looking now at all of them. Let's see if they look at me now. Here. The blind spot. The blind spot is not see the diminishing of human beings and making, like, having fun in the suffering, killing, bloodshedding, violence, rape. That's the blind spot.
the blind spot. Healed narcissist. Healed narcissist is able to embrace their wound and look at how they were perpetrated by someone who was sadistical and no empathy. So healed narcissist is able to look at the wound of how they became a victim to, it's kind of like it's in a way is the general violence and the beast mode in the world coming through some people, which narcissist becomes they become a victim to them, and because they're not able, because of lack of empathy and because of the brutality of whatever happened to them in their wounding, they're not able to look at that. It's too scary. And because of that, they will at times act as a perpetrator in a cold-blooded manner. Maybe not to the point of cold-blooded killing, but they will have definitely lack of empathy, and also the aspect of taunting and diminishing, because that's their shadow of the perpetrator that they don't want to look at. Does it make sense, you guys? Victim and perpetrator are really just unbalanced. The same coin that is out of balance, right? Victim and perpetrator, as soon as they are able to face each other and acknowledge like what happened and let go of it and get back into harmony, then the victim experiences or perpetrator experiences will disappear. But as long as they didn't look at the wounding, they didn't look at someone is there. They didn't look at what happened. Either victim or perpetrator will be kind of like, what do you call it? Will be streaming, like will be showing up at times. They'll be seeping through at times. In those moments when you are not conscious, like, wow, you will fall into victimhood, blame others, always like portray like, oh, someone did something to me, or you will also become perpetrator without knowing. Like other people will say like, yeah, that was not nice, that was mean, and you will be like, what the heck are you talking about? I have no clue what you are talking about. That's not me, So victims become perpetrators. Perpetrators used to be victims themselves. So when we are able to look at the wounding, which for the narcissist is like very, very difficult because of the quality of the perpetration. It was too brutal, it was too intense. As long as they are not able to look at that, they are not able to get back into harmony, and they will perpetrate. When they are in the trance, they will be cold-blooded, they will be lacking empathy and make fun of others, diminishing them in any way. Like in the Roman theater, right? People coming for entertainment, looking at other people suffering. So the Roman theater, because probably nobody really looked this deep, it's still like whatever these victims went through, these slaves that have been sacrificed or used by society, and it's still kind of like showing in our television and news, right? It's still calling for acknowledgement, how we treated some human beings as beasts. And now they are showing up everywhere. Yeah. because we never really acknowledged it. So, okay, let's see. So when the narcissist is able to look at that wound, face the perpetrator, the outward perpetrator, that was their reality, right? But also their inward perpetrator, like when they perpetrate, right? All that clicks together. They're able to reclaim their innocence. They're able to reclaim their innocence. The ones that were on the other side of the narcissist and susceptible to them and had their own wounding, which is coming actually from the self-hatred and disapproval of ourselves. Maybe because, that's how our parents treated us. Like, this is how you do it, so we kind of like adopted that critical way of being and then forgot about it. It went into the shadow. Because of that, we were attracted to the narcissist because they looked like they have everything together, like, because they don't deal with their stuff and we are constantly bad on ourselves. We want the emptiness of that, in a way, like from us, it looks like the narcissist has this emptiness inside of the monkey, like they don't have the monkey, which we do. And then we somehow like project the monkey, our monkey, into the narcissist because they're empty in there. So we project our monkey onto them. All the self-criticism that we have, we want the narcissist to take over it, but we also project it there so then we don't have to deal with this little monkey and we can like rip it off. Remember, the little shit, like, go away, right? So if narcissist is willing to reclaim their innocence, and we are willing to heal and to apply the solution, which is being loving to ourselves, stopping the agenda that we have for ourselves, for the little one who is so innocent and just like exploring different things in the world. Like, if they never did it before, how should they know how it works, And who are we to say that they cannot come up with a new solution for things, right? So if we are willing to commit to this inner child, to this inner innocence, then what? As the solution is reclaiming the innocence. So for ourselves, from the self-criticism, for the narcissist is from the innocence, reclaiming their innocence, like how they were before they were perpetrated by brutality, and the brutality was kind of like imprinted on them and went into the shadow. When we are willing to do that, and look at the blind spot of our human evolution, which is glorifying violence and beast theatrical entertainment. Then what happens then? Then these ones that are innocent and have an amazing potential to come with a lot of creative solutions and a lot of love to spread it onto others,
because now they are not inhibited by the wounding and fear or need to protect or need to project. These ones are going to, again, kind of like spread the love now instead of violence, like spread love instead of violence, right? And also, okay, let's see. It takes acknowledging all those victims who have been also our victims unconsciously. Whenever we watch those movies with people diminished to a beast, unconsciously we are kind of like getting entertained by other people being diminished to the beast, and kind of like saying like, I'm better because I'm not a beast like you. And it's not really seeing like how we perpetrated all these people by forcing them into that so that we can feel better. And so those are the true victims here. True victims that have been in the violence because they were forced into that for our pleasure. And now they are able to reclaim their innocence. Which was the blind spot. The end. Hello? The one that is innocent, throw the first stone.
I'll throw. Congratulations on making that through, because I had to take 3 or 4 breaks.
Yeah, thank you.
You did well.
Thank you. Wow, this was unexpected. But that's what we wanted. We've wanted to find another aspect that we haven't seen yet in the world of narcissism. Okay, anyone would like to contribute with some insight or, you know, what you're dealing with now, how it resonated, what did you see? How are you going to move on from here on?
I think it was really interesting that the hole or the wounding of being susceptible is your own inner hatred, and that actually is what's allowing those beings to enter into your life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really like an inside job of, you know, taking responsibility of why those people are even able to come into your life. That was what was potent. I got a little lost during the whole thing, honestly. I'd love to recap.
Yeah, me too.
Because I don't know. Sometimes I just tuned out, and maybe that was my break, and then I just felt lost. But that was the percolation of insight I got.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, it's very common though. You know, like the getting lost. It's common. It's normal. You just allow it, you know. It's also there are self-protective mechanisms, you know. Like I watch my constellations at times and they knock me out. I fall asleep. I cannot watch them. So then I have to break them into pieces so I can actually see what happened. So yeah. Anyone else?
Yeah, hi. So yeah, so you're very right that you have to really break them into parts. And I am, you know, when you were talking, I was actually trying to go back and trying to see what I was feeling. So there was this particular part where you were just standing and you were trying to struggle around, and you actually asked the group the question that, you know, what are you feeling? So I had a very strong, intense message or insight that when you were trying to struggle about that thing, when your hands were like sideways, I thought that it was a lot of influence, a negative influence, which kind of tries to bring our own so-called conscious systems down. Like I wouldn't like to take names, but whatever that leader is who is trying to, we tend to get influenced in a very different way and very easily, and subconsciously we're trying to go against it, but it's so strong that we are just not, and it's not just a struggle with an external thing, but with ourselves. That's one thing. And towards the later part, when you were trying to kill those people, and oh god, it was very intense. And specifically towards the last part where you said that, I'm so lost, I'm so sorry, I want to come back again. I'm
That's
sorry.
okay. That's all right. Yeah.
It just skipped my mind. Just, the thought train just skipped. I'll just come back in a while.
Yeah. No, that's normal. Yeah. Okay.
I think my big sort of insight, and it's not necessarily something you specifically said, but it seems like we all have this crazy wounding and we've gotten blown out, and the narcissist has gone to the opposite end of the spectrum as the susceptible to narcissist. So the narcissist has shut it off and we are completely absorbed in it.
Yeah.
Of course, those two opposites are going to attract. They are the opposite of the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When someone is not dealing with something in the universe, someone else has to deal with it. This is why we do like multi-generational healing. If someone in the family haven't dealt with their stuff, their children will have to, and so on. So,
right.
So absolutely, yes.
And it's like we're obsessing over it, and they're completely turned it off, because that's the only way to balance the scales or something. Yes. The coming together on both parts is an effort to try to balance those scales. But if the inner work isn't being done in the right way, then it doesn't balance. It just
it's like it just seems like our wounding, there was some narcissism aspects in that too. Like when I started, I was like, how is this even possible? I sound like a narcissist, but I'm not even representing a narcissist yet. But it's like it's certain level, right, of the wounding. Then the narcissistic is a little bit more intense, where they're lacking resources and support. Even though, like, we may have had critical parents and learned self-criticism through whatever media or school, kids like making fun of us or whatever. Even though we had that, we were still more resourceful than the narcissist, like, who got like, oh, okay, your little criticism is something, like, watch me. Like, I was like really brutalized by someone even more intense, right? So it's just the intensity level, but similar in a way. And then because they don't deal with it at all, they're like, what wound? Like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. Like, complete denial. Someone has to deal with that, and so it's going to be the one that had the less wounding.
Well, we're carrying the monkey around, so we've got it all,
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh yeah, just add another, like another monkey twin to it, and I can carry it. We are so used to that. Totally, yes. We're so willing, yeah. But see, like, just how we don't want to look at the little monkey, the self-criticism, the narcissist doesn't want to look at anything at all. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. You must be crazy. I didn't see anything, did you?
But on a subconscious level, is there a level of like a way deeper level? How could there not be? That wants to they don't have access to that.
Yeah, they don't.
And that's all we have is this monkey we're carrying around.
I had no access to the emotions at all. I was just like, So, yeah, but see, like, I think that this constellation, just like when you like are able to allow this, and I was able to allow it, it was very emotional actually to go through. Like, once I allowed the emotions, I didn't want to go into it, but then I was like, okay, allow. it was very intense, and that already will do some shift in the world, and more people that allow that, you know, collectively, that will release a little bit from the perpetrators, from the narcissists, from the self-criticals, you know, of all of us. It releases it a little bit, because now it's not hidden anymore.
Yeah.
You know, you saw it once, now you can never unsee it. You know, it's like, it's not, when you see violence next time, you know what it's about, you know it's where it's coming from, and you know what effect it has. So you can gently, you know, now tell parents, please do not show your kids to violent movies. You know, you can decide not to go to watch a violent movie in the theaters, and not to buy the tickets for that. You can choose not to pay attention to the news, and instead, like, acknowledge, like, all the people who are being diminished to the beast, and we have to protect. So we have to go and bomb them because they have no thinking of their own. They're beasts. They're just killers. All that is happening to us. So you're going to see it with other eyes. And when that happens, then also I think that more and more narcissists will be able to start dealing with their stuff, because it won't be as heavy, as intense. I think. We'll see. Feel free to share this video.
It gets a little bit tricky because someone has to stop it, right? Like someone has to start taking the personal responsibility. And so...
It's us, whoever sees it. It's us. That's why
being strong enough. But it seems like at one point we kind of neglected this responsibility to discipline, self-discipline, and also as mothers disciplining our children, because we want to take the path of least resistance, right? You're too busy, too overwhelmed, and you do not what is required, but what
convenience
gonna get us. Yeah, and so the issue I see
because it's so convenient to be a spectator. It's so convenient to be a spectator and not to be down there in, you know, in the arena fighting a lion. And so it's easier.
Yeah. And it's not sometimes, you know, it doesn't have to be that drastic, right? It gets that drastic, but at the beginning it's not that drastic. It's small little steps that seem to kind of like run away. And so it's nice to not watch movies and not to go to theaters. I cannot stand it either. Like, however, I cannot ignore that this beast is growing out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I can only control what I think right now with my power is what I can control is my environment. But really,
also your self-criticism. If there is any of the self-criticism,
totally.
You can start with that.
Well, it takes a lot of courage to sort of take more public kind of steps, right? And be out there telling people, hey, look at yourself. Because you get, that beast is now so big, you get squished and tossed aside. Because I think it just grown. It's too big now.
Well, we went from little theater to television and movies.
Yeah.
So and social media and people taking videos, like it's the spectator effect is huge right now. But yeah, we will have to step into the arena however we can. We can step, you know, just starting with our part, starting with our loved ones who are narcissists, you know. Like if you think about it, like when I talk about my parents as narcissists, you know, they were both born during the war, when the men had to be diminished to a killing beast. Both of my parents were born out of that.
You try to survive, and that's the mechanism. It's a survival mechanism to avoid the pain totally, rather than to be offered as a sacrifice to the lion. And don't forget that was initiate sort of tests, right? Are you so fearless that when you are facing danger, they don't get your goat? They don't, which is an expression, and these elites are really playing with us because we don't think that we have the power and that we can become fearless, because in the face of the fear, we run away or we take the easy way out rather than.
We try, and I tried that several times, but it catches up with you. So there's nowhere to run.
Yeah.
Eventually it catches up. And that's why I was saying, like, we are now in the time where the narcissism is in our face. It's everywhere.
It is, but we created it, yeah. So
Exactly.
taking responsibility for taking the easy way out, and it's our baby.
Yeah, it's our baby. Good, thank you. Anyone else would like to contribute or react, add something? Let's see.
I can contribute.
Okay, all right.
I think the blind spot was the strongest for me in this session, this first round. It was intense. I had to leave. It was an off and on for me. But the blind spot was very interesting. This is quite a recent, and I'm still healing from this. I still have part of my wound is quite open. So this was part of it was quite healing to go through.
Good. Okay.
I see my own projections, and that was painful. But I went through with them, part of them, and that's also, there's a healing, definitely healing going on at the moment.
Yeah.
That was my own blind spot, trying to sort of deny the whole thing.
Yeah.
In a way. And then I also looked into the blind spot in when it was so intense, when you were sitting there and you were in all despair and crying. There's so many things for me I could relate in so many layers and in so many dimensions, but that struggle you had, which you just spoke of also, that you there was this I need to see what I wrote. I'm a bit I'm just talking and thinking it's this battle, you know. As you said, is it you, or is it the narcissist? Am I a narcissist? Who am I? There was this identity, looking for identity, but for me that was the blind spot, and there was this battle of, should I connect to the feelings and the emotions, or should I just stay shut? Should I be the person with no empathy, or should I actually show empathy? That was super strong for me. Something that could have been me, or that was me, or that is me. I don't know. So that is super strong.
Yeah, just like healthy.
Something
boundary.
about I just wrote down like just surrender. Just surrender, but there's a lot of resistance inside of me.
Yeah.
So that was quite powerful.
And
then I had some distance. I even walked. I stood around the corner and listened to them.
Yeah, that's good.
Because they were too powerful or emotional.
Yeah.
And this also just I don't know where to place it yet, but I am you, you are me. That was also this whole, that's my red thread. My own projection, my own fear of becoming a narcissist, I think. There's a lot of things going on. So I go in and out of this, seeking my own place and where I've been and where I will go. I think that's how I will park it.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Yeah, they say like, because we are so ready to self-criticize, so we'll be like, I could be a narcissist, right? But they say like usually narcissists would not admit that there is a possibility.
No, but
and they wouldn't sit through this constellation. But yeah.
But it's so interesting how I went back and forth in old experience and then my new. It was quite it was very powerful, but healing. I'm leaving this session with a very, I'm more healed than I was before coming in.
Awesome.
necessarily pleasant all the way, but healing's not always pleasant.
Yeah. Awesome.
Not going through it anyway.
That's very good.
That was, and I mean, wow.
Well, thank you for coming. Yeah. Thank you for showing up for this. Anyone else?
I think the piece that is potent for me after Stina talked was the you know, I've been having trouble just forgiving this particular narcissist and the destruction that was laid before me, and really I have an enormous amount of more compassion for realizing that instead of feeling, they kind of shut down and kind of went into this more charismatic, self-centered, the world was about them. And it was almost like a defense mechanism of that's all they knew how to do. And it was interesting when you guys talked about the opposites, you know, it's like, I think the big piece for me is the critical resentment, feeling too much, and then being attracted to people that don't feel at all. And it's, I think for me, it's about getting in balance of all those things, that I can acknowledge someone being shut down and basically not hate them for it. It was their way of functioning and living and basically surviving the horror of whatever they had to endure in their life that made them to become what they were. And so it kind of changes the whole paradigm, because I've been holding so much hate that I haven't been able to get rid of. Because of
it's amazing. That's what the blind spot was supposed to do for you, you know? That's awesome.
I didn't even see the blind spot. I don't even know what the blind spot was. I mean, I tuned out for the blind spot.
What's that? That's the best. What blind spot? It's the best. Actually, the blind spot, I think, had showed up differently for the person who is susceptible was the self-judgment.
Yeah.
For the narcissist, it was the trauma that they were not able to look at because it was too brutal. Yeah. And then the society's blind spot, all of us blind spot, was the glorified violence and constant like need for being spectators of violence, and not acknowledging those that were victims of our need for feeling entertained by them being diminished to a beast. Yeah. Okay, anyone else?
Yeah, well, definitely one of the difficult constellations. I don't think I'm even ready to look at. I'm gonna have to watch this several times.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready. I can't process this.
Yeah.
Thank you all for contributing, but I think I'm not even. I didn't even. Or maybe just
you protect
surface.
yourself. Were you able to protect yourself? I actually forgot to. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's my fault. Like I usually say up front, like when it's too much, like mute it or remove yourself. That's a good thing about the videos, is to have more control over like how much you can take or not. So Maya, I will send you, I don't know, you probably already saw the Tibetan ball recordings.
I have them. Yes, I have them.
So I highly recommend you listen to that. You can put a salt bath and listen like while you're in a hot salt bath. That works even more because it permeates also every cell of you, and just to explain others, Maya is in the post-war Yugoslavia, so this is why like this kind of stuff is probably not very, very gentle for her. However, Maya, you can move through like with us through this. I absolutely know you have been getting stronger and stronger coming to these constellations, and I know you will be able to move through that. Put it on hold for now. Okay. Whatever you saw was enough. Now just completely ignore it, you know, and just keep doing other work. One day we'll be ready again to maybe to revisit it. But whatever you got was a strong dose. You know, one time you got a cold when you watched these, but it was healing. It can happen again. Allow it. If that happens, you will be able to adjust to that. But you have to do a lot of self-care and self-nourishment and self-love. So while moving through it, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, dear.
Bye.
All right. Anyone else?
Hi,
Yeah,
I'm back.
this is Stella. No.
Okay, Stella. Yes.
Yeah, I came in late,
Okay.
so I didn't see the beginning, but I did see the part. Yeah, I came before that, but I did see the part with when you did this. I was thinking of crucifixion and these old pictures. I spent a lot of my childhood in Italy. This is very emotional for me. I spent a lot of time at the Colosseum. I was completely fascinated and how people could do that to other people. I have chills all over my legs right now. So when this whole thing came up of the gladiators and everything, it's like, this is our heritage, and we're living this heritage still. And I know I used to talk about this a little every once in a while. We have not healed our wars. We have not healed our past. We have not even looked into it. We try to like jump away from it. And so this constellation was really like, yeah, exactly. We cannot jump away from it because this is our history. Every single one of us here has this as our cultural roots. Because everyone here comes from Europe to begin with, like it or not. And so that part of it, and we're, this whole thing of like the movies and the news and the wars and how we continue to perpetrate this. But I stopped watching like the news 20 years ago because I can't handle it, and go to the movies and everything, and just how they throw it in all the time and how we participate. So it was very, very confirming, and also the compassion for the narcissist. My mother's a narcissist, no doubt. I love her very much, and I miss her because I cannot be with her. I always missed her. But I also know that no matter how much I love my grandparents, I realized that they were not perfect parents. And I have always known that, but I still love them. I love her too, but I cannot be with her. So it's like this whole thing of like admitting that this is what it looks like, and not blaming and shaming. So I'm not blaming and shaming my mother. I just can't be with her because she's not good for me. And as it is right now, that is as much as I can do for the healing, because I also have to heal myself from that, from those wounds, but without throwing things at her. I think that is the best I can do right now. And I am.
Gosh, when you watch it, you will see the little monkey that we are throwing.
Yeah, I missed the monkey completely.
Oh my God. I was like, what the heck is that?
All right, yeah, that would be
watch the monkey. Oh my God. Yes.
So, yeah.
That's, right now I made the connection just when you shared this. Not to throw our stuff at them. Absolutely. That's another responsibility we can take. You just said, like, not to throw our stuff at them. You know?
Yeah.
The little monkey. Yes.
Okay, so I'll watch that later on. But I'm very grateful for this thing, because it really put something together about my relationship with Italy and Rome, and that is so ingrained in myself because I grew up with that in a way. And just this whole thing of the Colosseum and this. And the races they had with the horses around, and how they went, it's like I remember it. It's that I wasn't there. At one point I wasn't there too. I think that's why I ended up in Italy. Anyways, thank you very much. Yeah, you are, as always, incredible. I am so privileged to be with you.
Yes. Oh, where's the mirror?
This is so fun because we can see our face, right?
So lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, dear. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else wants to feed my confidence? No, I appreciate you. I know you're saying it in support, and it is really supportive because, like, when I do this, I sometimes feel like I do the craziest stuff. So I'm glad when it's not so crazy at the end and useful. Anyway, so love you all. I just wanted to let you know also that I'm starting a little 4-week intensive working on self-sabotage patterns. I wanted to have a small group to go through that. People in my VIP are always welcome to join for free. And people who would like to work on blind spots for 4 weeks. It's not always this intense, I promise. Like, sometimes it's really fun. You're welcome to join us. It actually costs less than a private session. The way it works is we do these constellations that are actually private constellation, not a group like this one, but we do our private ones in front of each other so that we can contribute to each other. And amazingly, you know, the way the group gets together, even though it's someone else's constellation, you will always learn and resonate, and something else will open up for you. So even more blind spots will be removed because it's someone else's. So it's highly effective. We had a beautiful one, but beautiful group that we just finished on embracing love. And so this one I highly recommend. Like, I don't think I'm talking from a narcissist. I know it's going to be very good. And I have maximum 8 spots, and if we have 5, we can go. So that is that. And okay, so the other thing is that we meet once a month for our business constellations. Those are free for all conscious entrepreneurs and everyone else who wants to show up for those, even though they are not an entrepreneur. Maybe one day they will become, but they also can benefit. But it's usually on the topics of the entrepreneurship. So you're welcome to join us for that. And I just came up with a new program that is going to be free, actually, but I would like to record it. We are going to go through the 25 cognitive biases. So this is basically, you know, like understanding human nature and what helps people say no, or what helps them to say no, yes or no. What makes them say no to our offers, for example. So I want to go through this to boost our sales, to help us understand how to help people make the right decision, not from a place of manipulation, but very often conscious entrepreneurs, even though they have amazing service, they struggle selling it because they are not applying the understanding of the cognitive biases of their buyers. So since it's 25, I want to go through it in 1 year. So it would take a whole year, twice a month. If you are okay to be recorded, and I will be using it as my program later for boosting people's sales, you're welcome to participate. It's free, and I think it's going to do some magic. So those are my offerings, and I love you all. Thank you so much for showing up, and take good care of yourself. And if you need any support after this, just contact me. All right. Bye-bye. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.